Chapter 15, The Truth. You're at Alexandra and Curtis's elopement reception, still reeling from the psychic vision you just had, where you saw Curtis push Gray into the pool. I can't believe Curtis is the one who killed Gray. I have to get out of here. Cold sweat beads on the back of your neck as Curtis releases you from the hug and you blast her on a fake smile. Now, what were you saying? Just that I've gotta head out. You take a step towards the door, but Curtis moves, blocking you. You cast a panicked glance over at Samuel. Is something the matter, Iris? No way. You can't leave yet. Stay and have some fun. I need to get up early in the morning. Oh, it's one night. It won't kill you to get a little less sleep than normal. I'm afraid it won't be much fun if I stay. I can barely keep my eyes open. You fake a dramatic yawn. I really do have to go, Curtis. Something at Curtis shifts, his drunkenness morphing into a cutting rage as he scowls at you. Your stomach churns uneasily. You can't just leave without saying goodbye to Alexandra. You'll upset her. And no one's upsetting her. Not on her wedding day. Then, why don't I go find her so I can tell her goodbye? He watches you for a moment longer, the anger slowly bleeding out of him. She's probably in the back in the sitting room. I'll take you. Curtis puts his hand on your shoulder to steer you through the crowd and you pull away, heart pounding in your chest. How am I supposed to get away from him? You could make a scene. Oh no, that's not necessary. I don't want to take you away from the party. I mean, it is your party after all. The guests are here to celebrate you. You should get to enjoy every second of it. Curtis seems to relax a little bit at your words. You're right, it is my party. Enjoy the rest of your night, Curtis, and congratulations. You hurry through the crowd, breathing fast, until you're found in an empty corner of the room. Samuel floats at your side, forehead creased. What was that all about? He did it, Samuel. He killed Gray. How do you know? I saw it. The moment he touched me, I got sucked into a vision. I cannot believe. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I'd not sure I'd believe it either. I fear the last conversation you may have tipped him off to your suspicions. He seems quite angry. He's always been like that to me when Alexandra isn't around. I thought he was just being protective of her and skeptical of what I do, but perhaps it is a guilty conscience. If it is possible to communicate with the dead, then his crimes should come out. But he didn't believe, or doesn't believe I can do that. And if he thinks I'm a fake, then why would he bother keeping me away from Alexandra? It could be he either assumes you're trying to swindle or manipulate her. Perhaps a tiny part of him is scared that you can do everything you say and that you know what he did. So he's covering his bases, that makes sense. No, it is merely a matter of bringing him to justice. We must contact the authorities post-haste. I can't leave yet, Samuel. Not when people here could be in danger. We still don't know why Curtis decided to kill Gray, but now that he and Alexandra are officially married, there's a real chance he could turn on her. You think he would? I will not allow that to happen. You're a ghost, what are you gonna do? Neither will I. I need to find her, tell her what happened, and then we both need to get out of here. I'll search this side of the house, you search the other. It'll be faster that way. Samuel gives you a firm nod and then disappears. You hurry down the hall to start your own search. You hurry down the hall, stepping into the sitting room, only to find it empty at first glance, a cool breeze wafting in from the open French doors. Alexandra, are you in here? Your heart pounds in your chest as you're greeted by silence. Curtis said I'd find her here, but that wasn't some kind of trap, was it? Good thing you fell for it. Your palms start to sweat as you push deeper into the room, only to freeze at what you see. Oh, hi. It's you. Gray? Gray stands a few feet away, mouth agape and eyes wide. Iris? His shock rapidly morphs into an amazed smile, and you can't help the way your heart flutters as he takes you in. You're here. I am. You look incredible. His eyes track over every inch of you, almost like he's caught in a trance and in awe of you. I gotta say, I like seeing this more fun, adventurous side of you. I thought you'd like it. But then he takes a step back and turns away from me, leaving that melancholy ache inside your chest. How long have you been here? Since this afternoon, when they started decorating. I couldn't very well miss my sister's big day. Gray, I'm glad you made it. Alexandra really wanted to share this with you. She was so happy that her brother was going to be here tonight. And that's exactly why I wouldn't miss it. Well, sure seemed like you were going to. I mean, how were you even planning to talk to her without a medium to facilitate? I have figured something out. He refuses to meet your gaze, and the red-hot rage suddenly flares in your belly. Like what? Iris. Alexandra invited us both here. She expected you to be here with me, and I had to lie to her. All because you insisted on making decisions for me, rather than asking me what I wanted. I would never miss this. I figured you knew that. And I thought I knew you. But the Gray I care about never would have pushed me away like that. We're supposed to be there for each other, and you gave up on us. I didn't give up. I did the right thing, and you know it. The right thing for who? Gray pinches the bridge of his nose, frustration overtaking the sorrow that's been etched there. Staying there was hurting you more than I ever thought leaving you could. I just needed to move on. That was the only way to fix this. You tried to move on? I did, but I couldn't. I should take a step back. Your eyes burn as you take a step back. He reaches out as though to catch your hand, but his touch merely passes through you. You really were going to leave me? Iris, that's not... I didn't want to go, but I couldn't let you get hurt. That's why I had to try. But you already knew you couldn't move on until you found your murderer. As soon as the words are out of your mouth, the revelations of the last hour rush through your head. And I found... that's not why I couldn't move on. What? But that's been your goal since I met you. It was my goal. Wanted to find out who killed me, get justice, and move on. But somewhere along the line that changed, you changed that. Me? Spending time with you started to matter more to me than finding my killer. Part of me didn't even want to find them if it meant losing you. But when we found out I was draining your life force, I knew what I wanted didn't matter. You're more important than that. What are you saying? Then he meets your gaze, and you get swept in the depth of affection you find there, the warmth of it flooding into you. I couldn't move on because I love you, Iris. I love you so much that I'd rather be stuck here on Earth forever, unable to move on if it means keeping you safe. You stare at him in stunned silence, eyes wide and heart pounding. You love me? Isn't it obvious? He holds his palms out, revealing half a heart-shaped locket, and you pull out your own matching piece. I'm still a little selfish, though. I left you the other half of this because I didn't want you to forget about me. How could I ever forget you? We've only known each other a few weeks, Iris. That's a drop in the bucket. Well, same to you. It doesn't matter. The time we spent together has meant more to me than I can possibly say. Even if you hadn't given me the locket, I'd still carry a piece of you for the rest of my life. I thought it would be easier if I just told you I was blackout drunk that night. That way you didn't feel like you owed me anything. All you want to do is wrap your arms around him, to lose yourself in him, but there are still alarm bells ringing in your head. I wish we had more time to talk about this, but we don't. I know you didn't black out, Gray. You were drugged. What? I found the glass you drank out of that night, and there was something wrong with it. Gray, there's no easy way to say this. To say what? I found your murderer, Gray, and it isn't someone you ever thought would have expected. Just tell me. It was Curtis. Curtis wouldn't do that. He's my best friend. He did. And he pushed you into the pool that night as well. And the reason you couldn't swim was because you had too much to drink. It's because he spiked your drink. But why? Why would he do that? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I only just found out myself only because I had a vision of it. You watch as something fragile breaks within him, just behind his eyes. It makes your heart ache. He killed me. Gray closes his eyes as he frowns, reaching up to rub at his temples. Everything's still so blurry, but I feel like some of it's starting to come back to me. Everything with Peter, Vivian, Curtis helping me outside, the pool. But it's all broken into pieces. I can't make sense of it. That's alright, Gray. You don't have to. No, I need to know everything that happened that night. I need to remember. Use your powers, Iris. With your help, I'll be able to push through whatever's blocking me and get to the truth. Let's see that night together. Are you sure you're going to be okay reliving this, Ray? Maybe there's a way for just me to go into your memories and see everything. He shakes his head, though you notice a small tremor in his hands as he crosses his arms. I'll be fine. Gray, it's okay if you're not. This would be difficult for anyone, Gray. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. I think right now I'm more nervous than anything, but I'm not going to let that stop me. We'll see how I feel after. Then let's get this over with. Right, it's time to find out what happened that night once and for all. You close your eyes and let Gray's energy wash over you, taking you back to the night of his death. Now, playing as Gray, you're standing in the middle of a raucous party, lost in the pounding music, when an attractive young woman rushes up to you. Hey, Gray, I've been looking everywhere for you. Oh, hey. You rub the back of your neck, desperately trying to remember her name, even as you shoot her a charming smirk. It's me, Mindy. Let's do a shot together. Oh, Mindy, that's right. I'm not feeling shots tonight, but don't let me stop you from going wild. Mindy's face falls, but before she can say anything more, you turn on your heel and push into the crowd, only to stop at the angry shout of your name. Gray. You turn to see Peter Lafferty staggering towards you, forehead creased with anger. Peter, I'm surprised you came. What the hell do you think you're playing at? You were supposed to help me. I never agreed to that. I said I'd give you an honest review, and that's what I did. I wouldn't have asked you if I knew you were going to sabotage me. You tanked my company. Peter, you did that all on your own. You were conning people, and you got caught. Do you have any idea how much time and money I poured into this? Clearly not enough to make something useful. Go home, Peter. I've had more than enough of you for one night. Peter balls his hands in fists, sweat rolling down his temples. You're going to pay for this, Gray. You're going to pay for ruining my life. You scoff. Yeah, if you say so. He storms off, and you head into the kitchen to make yourself a drink. On the way, you easily get lost in the crowd of partiers, dancing, chatting, only to come face to face with Vivian. So what, you break up with me even, and then invite me to your party like nothing happened? If you think you have the last word, you're mistaken. Open your mouth to speak, only to stop as you catch eyes on the bracelet she's wearing, the one you gave her for her birthday. You're still wearing it. I thought you would have gotten rid of it. That's because... She stutters and then shakes her head, her features rearranging in a furious mash she wore seconds ago. Get rid of it as if. The only thing you were ever good for was spending money on me. Vivian, you've gotta be... Before you can finish, she snatches your drink from your hand and throws it in your face. One of your security guards quickly escorts her out of the room before you feel a clap on your shoulder. Man, seems like you're having a tough night. Let me make you another drink. Curtis fixes you another drink and passes you the cup. You throw it back, the burn immediately takes the edge off. Oh, I really needed this. Thanks, buddy. You and Curtis head back into the thick of the party, and soon the drunkenness seems to hit you all at once, your vision going fuzzy around the edges. I'm feeling kinda lightheaded, Curtis. Oh, maybe you just need some fresh air. Curtis puts his arm around your shoulders and leads you out the back door. The outside air cools your rapidly overheating skin, but your vision is only getting worse. You stumble, but Curtis steadies you as he walks you towards the pool. Curtis, I think something's actually wrong. Curtis lets go of your arm, and you barely manage to keep your balance on your unsteady legs. The sounds of the party are distant now that you're all at the pool. The silence is loud in your head. I know. But you are what's wrong, Gray. But that won't be a problem anymore. Not after tonight. What are you... You heard me. Curtis, this isn't like you. You don't know anything about me. What are you talking about? We've been friends ever since we were kids. We were friends, but I haven't thought of you like that in years. But it never occurred to you that there was someone out there who wouldn't fawn over the great Gray Morrison. It's not like you said anything. You try to take a step away from Curtis, but that only makes the world start to spin. Goodbye, Gray. The air is knocked out of your lungs as he slams his hands into your chest and shoves you backwards. You hit the water and start to sink. Your limbs refusing to move, all you can do is stare up at Curtis's looming dark form. The first lungful of water burns. Your body seizes as it chokes you, and as the pain becomes too great to bear, your vision goes black. Your eyes spring open and you gasp for air as though you were the one who drowned. Oh my god. Gray, I'm so sorry that it happened to you and you were betrayed like that. I think if part of me still didn't want to believe it. That he really was the one who killed me, the man I thought was my best friend. Gray swallows, roughly blinking back tears. I just don't understand why he'd want to kill me. He said I was the problem, but it's not like I ever did anything to mess up his life. I don't think we possibly understand what was going on in his twisted little brain. But at least we know the truth now. But what can we even do? I'm dead and everyone still thinks Curtis is a nice, normal guy. We're gonna bring him to justice. That's what we're gonna do. But right now, Curtis is still at the party, and Alexandra doesn't know what he did. You don't think he'd hurt her too, would you? I don't know, but we've got to find her and fast. You and Gray head for the hall, only for Samuel to appear in the doorway. Oh, Iris, you found Gray! What about you? Did you track down Alexandra? She is in her bedroom. What about Curtis? He wasn't with her, was he? No, but I don't know where he's disappeared to. See if you can track him down. We'll take care of Alexandra. Samuel disappears, and you and Gray rush to Alexandra's room, barging in and making her gasp. Oh, it's just you, Iris. You scared me there for a second. Does this mean you found Gray? Where is he? I did, but, glance back at Gray, focusing your energy into him, through the tenuous threads still binding you together, and gradually his form solidifies. I knew you wouldn't miss this. She rushes over to him, but Gray holds his hand up, shaking his head. We don't have time for this, Lex. What are you talking about? We'll explain everything, I promise, but we can't stay here. It's dangerous. We found my murderer. Oh my god, are they here? And before you can help yourself, you blurt it out. Alexandra, it was Curtis. Her eyes go wide. She looks between you and Gray in disbelief. No, that's not possible. If this is some kind of joke, it's not funny. It's not a joke. I saw it myself. How? When I was going to leave, I bumped into him. I had a vision of that night. It wasn't much, I admit, but one thing was very clear. He pushed Gray into the pool. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe he didn't realize how drunk Gray was. I'm sure he didn't mean to kill him. Some of the things he said to me, it wasn't an accident, Lex. And that's not all. Gray wasn't drunk at the party, Alexandra. Someone drugged him. And I found Gray's cup from that night here, under your bed. She gasps and covers her mouth with her hand. Oh my god. But why would he do that? He and Gray were the best of friends since they were kids. That's what I thought too. Maybe Curtis is just evil. He is. I don't know. He's always seemed so gentle to me. Seemed.
Only someone truly terrible could kill another person in cold blood.
It makes me wonder how long he's been fooling all of us.
I can't believe I just married a monster.
That's what annulment is for. You shoot Gray a glare. Sorry, I was just trying to lighten the mood.
Don't beat yourself up. There's no way you could have known. Maybe I would have if I hadn't been so blinded by how much I loved him. Hell, I even suspected him at one point.
Well, you did?
When you first told me that Gray was murdered, it crossed my mind. I lost track of him at the party that night around the same time I lost track of Gray.
It was pretty common for Curtis to bail halfway through parties, though.
Exactly. And while I found it odd that he was so much less affected by your death than I was, I convinced myself he was just putting on a brave face. I didn't want to believe it. I couldn't believe it.
I'm still struggling with it, to be honest.
He's always treated me so well.
Alexandra, that just shows how good of a liar he is. He manipulated you and Gray. Whatever you thought was between you, it was a lie.
You're right. I never knew him at all.
I wish we'd figured this out before you married him. I can't even begin to imagine how you feel.
Sick to my stomach. But more than that, I feel pissed off that he lied to me, killed my brother, and he thought he could get away with it.
Okay, first things first. We need to get as far away from Curtis as we... For a second, you feel lighted, and Gray's form flickers rapidly, blue aura flaring up around him. Iris, are you all right? You sway unsteady for a second more, as Alexandra catches your arm to keep you from falling.
What's going on? What happened to Gray?
I'm fine. We're both fine. It's a long story, and we really don't have time for it right now. We've got to get to the authorities and tell them everything. You hear the bedroom door shut, and you all whip around to see Curtis, standing in front of it.
Oh, what's all this about? Having a party in here without me?
Your blood runs cold, your heart tripping over itself, even as you force yourself to smile.
He's probably still drunk. He might not have heard anything we just said.
You've both got to get out of here.
We were just, Iris was just saying goodbye, and I was insisting on giving her a bottle from our collection since she had to leave so early. We were just on our way to go and grab it.
Alexandra loops her arm with yours, but as you both step towards the door, Curtis shakes his head and blocks your path. I think you both know I'm not letting you out of this room. He pulls a knife from behind his back, and you both freeze.
It's such a shame that you discovered the truth. I guess I really have to pin the murder on Alexandra now.
You...
Oh, how did you figure it out, anyway?
Well, I'm a medium. Curtis bellows a mocking laugh and smiles at you cruelly.
What, did you call up Gray's ghost and ask what I did to him?
This bastard.
You aren't fooling anyone, Iris, so you can drop the act.
Believe me or don't, it doesn't change anything.
Why you?
Both Alexandra and Gray step forward, getting between you and Curtis.
Leave her out of this, Curtis. She isn't the one who took away my brother.
Curtis tracks his gaze away from you to Alexandra, and there isn't a drop of warmth in his eyes.
Ah, Alexandra, my love. You could never see Gray for what he truly was. A pathetic little leech who was constantly dragging down our family.
So this is really what he thought of me.
If anyone's leech, Curtis, it's you. You aren't even a Morrison to begin with. I am now, and after tonight I'll be the only Morrison heir left. You wouldn't. Oh, but I would. Killing the two of you might not be as easy as killing Gray, but I'm sure I'll manage just fine.
He raises the knife to gesture at Alexandra. Her eyes go wide as she backs away.
I mean, all I had to do was slip some pills into his drink and give him a push. It's not like anyone was ever going to suspect foul play when Gray was such a partier.
You son of a... Panic grips your chest as Curtis starts to stalk forward.
I gotta find some way to keep him talking. There's one thing I don't understand. Why? Why did you kill him? I mean, you were practically family.
We were family.
Then why?
But Gray never gave this family the respect it deserved. Family doesn't kill one another, Curtis.
And did you ever, I don't know, try talking to him about it?
Gray didn't listen to anyone other than himself.
He was always selfish, ungrateful, everyone knew it. You're wrong. Gray was sweet and considerate. He was always looking out for me. Curtis glares at her. I've watched for years as he's disrespected your parents, brought shame to the Morrison name time and time again. The Morrison deserves a better hair, and I will be just that. That's why you killed Gray. Because of some stupid notion of reputation? Clench your fists as you see red rage burning in your chest. The suffering you caused Gray is unimaginable, and you've hurt so many others on top of that. I wish you could feel even an ounce of that pain.
You can make him feel more than that, Iris. Use your power.
Gray's right. I felt what Gray went through that night, and I can make Curtis feel it too.
Really?
Items in the room begin to rattle, shake as you let your energy, your rage, fill the space. What's going on? You're about to find out.
You show him, Iris.
Why don't you just literally let Gray have the energy? He physically manifests and beats his ass. You push your consciousness forward, prying into his mind and plucking at every insecurity you find lingering below the surface. I worked so hard to get the Morrisons' attention to prove to them that I was better than Gray, better than Alexandra. They might not have realized it before, but once this is over, I know they'll fully accept me as their son. As you come back to yourself, you let your energy surge around you, sending a book flying off a shelf and straight at Curtis's head. Yearbook. The book smashes into his face and he stumbles back, eyes wide. What the hell was that? Are you scared, Curtis? Scared of the big bad psychic you don't even believe in? Because I've got some news for you. The Morrisons don't care about you. You're wrong. You don't know anything. Why else do you think they paid so much attention to Gray, to Alexandra? Because you didn't matter.
You're getting to him, Iris.
You were a charity case, Curtis. That's all you've ever been. And now you're guaranteed that all you're ever gonna be. Killing Gray, marrying a sister, doesn't make you a part of the family you never truly could be. Shut up! I think this was the biggest mistake you've ever made. No, this isn't the biggest. The biggest mistake is that you have ever made. You shouldn't have stuck your nose where it didn't belong, and now you're gonna die for it. I won't let him lay so much as a finger on either of you. That's not going to happen. But why don't you try it? See how far it goes for you. Curtis glances around the room to where picture frames are rattling on the walls, and there's a flash of fear in his eyes. He takes a menacing step forward, brandishing the knife at you, but you hold your ground. I think it's about time you got a taste of your own medicine.
Do it.
This is what it's like to be drugged. You focus hard, delving into his mind. Put him in Gray's shoes that night. He suddenly clutches his head. You feel that? Your vision should be fading in and out. Your stomach rolling. It feels like the world's about to fall out from underneath you, doesn't it? What are you doing to me? Curtis sways unsteadily, knees buckling. He barely catches himself on the wall. But then a sudden wave of exhaustion hits you and the energy fades around you. You're shunted out of Curtis's head, leaving him gasping. Now you know how it feels. You're going to regret this. No. But Curtis has already closed the distance between you, knife gripped tightly in his hand as he goes to stab you. Oh, of course. Of course. We have to milk this for all it's worth. So what do you think, guys? We'll get a chapter 16, clearly. Maybe we'll get that ending on 16. But, you know, if they milk it for all it's worth, which clearly you can see here they did, chapter 16, 17 maybe at the most. You know, I doubt there will be 18, but we'll see. Without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description, plenty of things to check out, ways to support and whatnot. Without further ado, yeah, sorry about being late. If you read the community post on the page that we have here on YouTube, you would understand why it was late. You can tell I'm kind of struggling and, you know,
whatnot through all this, but hey, such is life. But I wanted to make sure that I get the content out for you guys. Otherwise, right now I would be doing anything and everything other than reading some of this. At least it wasn't, Bow Chicka Wow Wow filled, you know. But don't worry, chapter 16 will be. Oh yeah, hold on. Quick little prediction. Um, he may or may not stab you, and you may or may not choose to give in, and you may or may not go happily ever after with Gray into the afterlife. I don't know. That's what I feel. The other option is you're okay, you live, but you opt into having Gray around you, and slowly over time, Gray drains you. You two enjoy your living life together, and then you become a ghost with Gray and live happily ever after. Or option 3, which is for people who I'm sure are going to pick some of you, was, we go our separate ways, Gray moves on, and you go on and live your life, forever having a piece of Gray inside of you, because everyone takes a little spot inside your heart, right? Even, your enemies, unfortunately. And he'll forever be there, for you to remember and linger on in thought and whatnot. And who knows, maybe, when you die of an old woman and whatnot, you meet him in the afterlife. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out.